like me having sex with my mum. Like that's like I'm not fucking obviously not gonna have sex with my mum. That's fucking weird.
Bang, welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. I'm joined today with Neel Kolhatkar, the comedian, podcaster, and actor extraordinaire that is taking over the scene in Sydney right now.
Wow, I'm so flattered. Thank you.
Just Sydney's not right, because you were in Melbourne last week, weren't you?
Yeah, we did Melbourne last week. We got a monthly room that we're running down there now. So we're back again in April. We got 2 shows in April.
Nice.
In the Melbourne Comedy Festival, I think is going on at the same time, but we're not in the festival. We're there at the same time.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so we're trying to spread out. We've got a show in Newcastle as well. So in that city now, and then I think we're looking at doing a gig in Western Sydney.
Nice.
It's closer to you guys.
Yes.
Because I'm living in Ashfield in Inner West.
We
in,
need
Newtown.
some comedy in Western Sydney.
Yeah. Well, we're
like
doing a gig at. I think it's Mounties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's right across the road from me.
Oh, there you go. I'll see you there.
100%.
Sweet. So I'm pretty stoked for that. We figured. I reckon the Western Sydney crowd are going to be pretty lit.
Yeah, we have a much higher tolerance to comedy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's very interesting to see how the differences between audiences depending on demographics. You can tell the same joke and you would just get a totally different response.
Yeah.
Depending on where you tell it. Yeah.
Do you have any scenes in particular that are very close to your heart? Like any theaters or any clubs that you prefer to perform at?
I guess where we've been doing our show, Potts Point Hotel in King's Cross, that's kind of where the show started.
Right.
So that's kind of the cool little thing.
Yeah.
That's they're always good there, and we've got a good deal with them. So I guess that's the one that's close to our heart. No, really, I really like the I think it's the Capitol Theatre in Sydney. I just like what the inside of it looks like.
Yeah. It's been really interesting to see how comedy in Australia in particular is really starting to build a lot more momentum than what it used to. There's always been a scene in comedy, but I think in particular with the new breakout in Instagram Reels and TikTok and social media, you're seeing a lot more comedians kind of come to light and showcase what they can actually do. It's a whole new platform. It's really fucking interesting.
Yeah. It's definitely they're definitely competing against each other as well. I mean, TikTok blew up massively. That changed the game because that put a lot of pressure on people putting that content out there. Because there's people I don't know, Will Gibb, he's absolutely crushing it, and he came up, I guess, through TikTok, and now he's doing live shows and doing all this crazy stuff. So it's the way to go.
Yeah, and it's the interesting because I'm a huge fan of comedy.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell a joke on stage to save my fucking life.
Yeah,
there's no way I could do it.
Yeah,
but I'm a huge fan of comedy. I love watching all the greats. I'll go watch some local shows sometimes, and one of the things that I noticed in particular is that I think back in the day, comedians would hold on to their jokes a lot more and really not try and publicize them that much and save them for things like specials or save them for things like enclosed shows. And now it feels like they're just giving everything away.
Well, yeah, that's a really good point. And I was watching what's his bloody name? Mark Normand, who's a really one of my favorite comedians. And he was saying how before people could have phones at shows, comedy room used to be kind of a speakeasy. Yeah. Where, you could go there and people could say things and, there would be no record of them ever saying it. If people didn't like it on the night, then people wouldn't like it on the night, but it wouldn't be recorded forever and then shared around the universe. So that kind of the comedian's role has changed in that regard because of phones and things being introduced. But there's also that problem of you bin material once it's been published online. Yeah. Because once you've seen a joke, you've kind of seen it, and if you post a joke and it goes viral, then you're like, yeah, that's sick. You know, I got like a million views on that video or whatever. But also you're like, well, now I can't tell the joke. You got to fucking so it's kind of go and write another one.
It's kind of like, what do you value more? Do you value that like social media validation and that attention, or do you value like the laugh in the?
Yeah, well, I guess there is no like in terms of what is a better feeling. Performing it live, 100%. There is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of making comedy a career that's sustainable and that has like alternative income sources apart from just the show, it's important to then kind of get those social media accounts going, and then those social media accounts, they help sell the tickets to the shows,
of course.
And so it's all just this big, every little bit counts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Especially in like such a competitive space, but also such a subjective space. It's not like you can, go to comedy school.
No,
it's not like you can learn. Like, how did you figure your way around the comedy scene and go, oh hey, I'm actually kind of funny at this?
Well, okay, so I started like with acting. I was like always loved acting, did drama all through high school. And then when I was doing drama in year 7, there was this thing called like theatre sports. I don't know if you've heard of that. Which is like improv competitions between schools.
Right.
And so I did that and I loved that.
Really?
And so I did that all through high school. And was, I don't know, I've always liked telling jokes. I don't really feel comfortable until I've like gotten a laugh, and then once I've gotten a couple of laughs, like meeting you guys today, for example, once like I'd gotten like one laugh, I was like, okay, that's sweet. Like I feel comfortable now. Before I even did comedy or like it was into comedy, like it's always been the way.
Yeah.
But did theatre sports and then started doing this show with Neel, and it started off, I was just doing the improv bit with him. So
you've known Neel for some time then?
Yeah, me and Neel went to high school together.
Oh, shit. Yeah. No way.
So we were doing this improv thing together back in high school.
Right.
And he was like, I think the year above me. But we were performing and training at lunchtime together, like practicing this improv stuff. We were like the cool kids in the drama room. The cool kids in the drama room. Yeah. But yeah, we were smashing it out, and then we started off just a little improv bit, and then I started trying to do some stand-up stuff, and I've just recently started doing some hosting, so I'm doing a lot of crowd work.
Right.
And going back on that wasting content thing, crowd work's a great way to get around that. I guess if you're just talking to people and you're improvising, you're never going to burn a joke.
What's crowd work?
Okay, so like I guess with comedy, there's like, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, just got a burp.
No, you're good, bro.
It's like crowd work's like you're asking questions to the crowd. It's not planned. It's you're just trying to find out about them, and you're riffing off that.
Yeah,
and that's like, I guess that breaks up. It allows the crowd to like get to know each other.
Reduces the tension.
Reduces the tension in the room. Kind of brings everyone together. Like if that guy knows a little bit of dirt about that chick, and that chick knows a little bit of dirt about this couple in the front row, and this couple in the front row are really uncomfortable, and that makes everyone else a bit more comfortable. It's this whole. But I didn't understand that until I started watching comedy, because I didn't start watching comedy until I was like actually just going to shows in Sydney because I was doing improv at them.
Right.
I'd seen like growing up, I saw like Carl Barron, like everyone does, and like Ross Noble and a couple of guys like that, but I never actually like was like, yeah, this guy. Like the big greats.
On that crowd note work, has it ever like gone against you? Because it is a high risk game.
Yeah,
it's a high risk game.
It's very high risk. Like sometimes like okay, so for example, last night I was like, on Thursday night, I was going around the room asking people what they do for work. And one chick, I was like, okay, so what's your name? Like, what do you do for work? And she was like, I work at the suicide prevention line. Ooh. And I was like, ooh, yeah, nothing funny about that job. And then, but even that, I mean, that works as a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does happen sometime. And then, so one time I called some guy out. I think I like referenced that he might be there as like with a gay couple. As a threesome that he met on Grindr, but they weren't. They were just really rude hecklers, and I don't think he liked that. And so he stood up And he was like, he was like 7 foot dude and he had a big beard. And I was like legitimately scared. That shit like that does happen.
Yeah.
You saw fucking Alex Shooter Williams got fucking punched.
What happened?
He got punched on stage.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, he got like ages ago.
Well, like someone just jumped on stage.
Yeah, someone like didn't like what he said, punched him. We had a guy jump up at the end of a show one time, take off his shirt, dance. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's like really weird. Speaking of that, yeah, I should apologize to the Japanese family that I saw me naked this morning.
What?
So sorry, guys. So I live in a share house in Inner West.
Yeah.
Classic Inner West share house. So it's like a split house. And the back half is vacant at the moment. So I'm like having my shower in the morning with my bathroom window open. It's like to the side of our house. And then there's a whole bunch of Japanese people just walk down the side. And I'm just like standing in the shower. I didn't think they'd be there because there's a vacant house. But house inspections today. So it's an open house. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Well, you either sold that property or scared them off alive.
Yeah. Look, I'm hoping, it's
They might be your new neighbors. Who knows?
Yeah. Like, does he come with him? No. Not part of the package.
So you went to drama. You did like a whole lot of drama and theater in school, and you picked up a lot of momentum through that.
Yeah, so I always did improv, and then always just.
How did the podcast come into play?
The podcast came into play. I guess we were looking for more content to put out, and working with Max, I get along really well with him, and we're just looking for more content to put out and figuring it and getting better at speaking as well. Getting better at speaking for a longer time because people don't understand. It's you can tell like people who are on podcasts a lot because the way that they can continually speak and bring points to it. Like point of conversation. I'm not that good at it yet, but when I sit next to someone like Neel or like you listen to bloody Friendly Geordies talk, and it's just so eloquent and it's just beautiful. Even when you talk, you're quite.
Oh no, I'm still very new to this space.
But it is quite a talent to be able to do that.
It's a skill that you fine tune over time, and it becomes a part of not only when you're on air but when you're off air as well. Like you're thinking about the podcast when you're not on the podcast, and so you're trying to formulate better thoughts, and you're trying to fine tune ideas and use less ums and ahs and likes. All those little details really play into it. Like if you watch the first ever episode that I did the podcast, it was hilarious. Because we only had the one angle, so it was wide, so you could only see like half my face. And I was like, they're hiding behind like no one look at me kind of shit. It's a daunting thing, man. It's a daunting thing to put yourself out there online like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's I find it really like I find doing the podcast is like a natural fun. I hate filming myself to make sketches. Like that is the worst. Like that is the most uncomfortable I can get. I'd rather get up on stage like in my undies in front of like 800 people than like sit in my kitchen with a tripod and a camera and like play characters into it. It makes me so uncomfortable. It's okay like if we're doing like a shooting day and you're there with some other comedians and someone's got a camera and stuff, but like that's doing stuff at home by yourself. And like I have a share house and like I live with like 2 chicks and a tradie. And they're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you just
I'm
look
just like
so
in the kitchen, just like
right?
with a tea towel on my head, just being like,
That's why when
and then
when people give shit to like the Addison Rays or the Charlie D'Amelios of the world, I'm like, no, you deserve that. Because,
I know. For like the first time like in ever, like dancing is a legitimate career path. Because of TikTok.
Yeah, but not only that, man, just to have like the ability to switch off that voice in your head when you're like looking at yourself in the camera and you're dancing and you're breaking that fourth wall. Like I could never. I could never.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess but I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. TikTok is mostly just girls dancing. Yeah. I mean, look, I think it's aged up a little bit. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that, but I think it's starting to like break into that 25 and up barrier now. Whereas before it was 14 and under. Yeah. There's a whole well, that's what we're kind of hoping through having this like these videos on TikTok. In my head, I'm like, so like securing ticket sales. Yeah. Because kids are going to be growing up seeing these videos. Guess who's in the videos? This guy. See you at the show. So yeah, that's kind of the plan.
If I had a 12-year-old daughter and she's looking at your face on TikTok, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I'd be bloody concerned. I'd be a little bit concerned if you had a 12-year-old daughter. Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself in like hot water or found yourself in a position where, particularly online? Because obviously online right now, there's a big notion around cancel culture.
Yeah.
And, everyone's very powerful right now with their keyboards. Have you ever been at the brunt of that?
Oh, like every day, every day. TikTok,
what did you do?
What did everything you do? On TikTok. TikTok comment section is like the most toxic, but it's all just like little like 13-year-old incel boys being like. No, it's not all, but like a lot of people, I don't know, people are just very vocal about their opinions on TikTok, and it's like, I'm sorry if I hurt your opinion, but you can keep scrolling. The video's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The like 8,000 likes disagree with like your thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what I was going to ask you is how do you deal with that? Because I think, there's one thing to kind of put your ideas out there in the form of a podcast, and it's because you've got more space and more time to like really elaborate on your position.
Yeah.
People don't come in as charged.
Yeah.
But with comedy, the timing is so important.
Yeah.
It has to be snappy.
Oh,
and
quick. And 100%. Like some of our videos are like, I mean, okay, so I'll give an example of a video. I guess they are what you would call problematic. Because they do cross a line, but like all good comedy should, by crossing that line, they bring attention to a problem.
Yeah.
Or they bring up discussion about some sort of issue. So I'll give you an example of like pretty much the most viral video that I posted, was the things Asian parents never say. And I
like the premise.
There's like white dudes like me.
Can we react to it?
Saying I think it's up on TikTok or. But it's so this was huge, right? This blew up. It's like 5.5 million views, like 3 million likes or something. Blew up, and then people got angry about it. But part of the reason it blew up was because people got angry about it. People were saying, "Oh, this is offensive," or "This hurts." But majority of people were saying, "Oh, this hurts because it's true." And then people were having like this. People having in the comments having discussions between each other, like, "Oh, my dad used to do this," or like, "I wish my dad did this more," and like people really venting like,
well, that's
some actual real problems.
Yeah,
and that's kind of thing. It was like, it is rough.
Yeah,
but if I don't know, I like comedy because you can laugh about rough things.
But isn't that the point of comedy as well? It's like you're bringing light to a situation that actually has a lot more serious undertones.
Dark,
that's why dark humor is so compelling to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like jokes about Hitler or Jewish people or black people, white people. Like name the topic, right? Like we've all heard those jokes. What's that guy from England, Jim Carr?
Jimmy Carr. Yeah,
he's
he recently got cancelled because of that Holocaust joke.
Oh, what did he say?
I can't remember the exact joke.
Okay,
I won't repeat it in fear of getting cancelled. I think it was Jimmy Carr. He's the guy who laughs like, oh.
Yeah, it's Jim Carr.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr. Yeah.
He laughs like inwards. I love him.
Yeah, he's very funny. He's definitely like, I like that style of humor. But I find it's like, yes, in this PC culture that we live in today, it's a nice relief from that, and it's kind of like you're not laughing at it because you agree with what's being said.
He's talking about babies getting burned alive.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone agrees with that.
Ha ha ha! That's funny because it's so. It's funny because that you're so not supposed to laugh at that.
Yeah,
like it's like when you're in school, right?
Yeah,
where you're like the teacher's like quiet and like your mate is doing nothing, but it's the funniest shit ever. And you're like, and it's only funny because you're not supposed to be laughing, and that makes it funnier. And that's the same thing with dark humor.
Yeah, there's that tension of like, fuck, like don't.
Yeah, and like that shock. Like I got jokes like about like me having sex with my mum. Like, like that's like I'm not fucking obviously not gonna have sex with my mum. That's fucking weird. But the shock, of that joke is like, I love doing that to people. That's funny. That makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It catches people off guard.
And the beautiful. Hang on, let's find this clip first. Is this Is this your account?
I just got friggin' recancelled for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it on the #1 podcast, man.
Yeah,
this is where you want to get cancelled.
Things. 4.6 mil. The guy with the curly hair. Next to the bright orange beanie photo. There's a photo of my brother playing the drums on Christmas. That one.
That one there. Oh, I've seen these clips like this because this is done live, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is the show that we do in Sydney every Thursday, 7 o'clock, Potts Point Hotel. Tickets neeldown.com.
Nice.
That we do every Thursday, and this show, like basically we built this show. It almost pretty much operates as a content factory and a live show.
Right.
So it was kind of like thinking about the content potential while also planning a live show was really interesting. Kind of science. But yeah, these are clips that we get from the show.
Let's get you in trouble again. We've got some volume, kid.
Things Asian parents never say.
I love you unconditionally. Come in, leave your shoes on. Son, I'm proud of you.
No, stop. Let them pay the bill.
Come on, son. Give your dad a hug.
You want to backpack for a year and find yourself? Go for it.
Jenny, we fully support your dreams of pursuing stand-up comedy.
That's all right. You don't have to go to a selective school if you don't want to. We come from a whole family of good drivers.
Yay, a daughter.
That one,
that's the one?
Yeah, that's
Excuse me. Thank you, Sion.
Things Asian parents never say.
Anyway, but that's there is a bit of like you do want to be a bit controversial, and also like that's the more controversial videos are the ones that do the best on TikTok as well.
Yeah, it's tricky because you're walking a fine line between, being controversial and pushing the envelope and then like actually hurting people and making them upset.
Well, not necessarily. Like you're never trying to do something just to be controversial. I guess you're just trying to do it to be funny, and then sometimes you go too close to that line.
But the thing is, with comedy in particular, like we were talking about before, there's no handbook, there's no specific way in which it has to be done because every comedian is so different. The way Dave Chappelle performs is very different to the way Jimmy Carr performs, which is very different to the way you perform. It's all so dependent on your relationship with your audience. And so expecting a comedian to go out there and try jokes for the first time and expecting it to land and be perfectly on point, not pushing that envelope is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. A comedian can go out and tell the same joke to two different crowds and get two different responses. Tell it the exact same way, and it'll just be totally different on the night. It just depends on the crowd and the comedian, and
Who do you aspire to? Which comedy do you enjoy?
That's a hard question because, like I said, like I don't watch a lot of comedy.
That blows my mind. I can't believe you don't watch comedy.
No, I just do. I guess I come from a family where my dad's always cracking jokes, trying to like dad jokes. But I grew up like just cracking jokes. I got a grew up with a pretty funny friend group, so I was just kind of blessed. And then always did the improv stuff, so I was making jokes through that. And then Carl Barron was the first comedian I ever watched. Ross Noble, then I watched him a little bit when I was growing up. Recently, I've loved Mark Normand. His wit and the quickness of his set, and tightness of his writing. I really like Steve Hughes, Aussie guy. He's got some really good bits. But yeah, that's pretty much been it.
Yeah.
I spend like a lot of time watching comedy, but just like local comedians in the scene.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess because you're participating in so much as well, you're constantly surrounded by it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so watching them and seeing their different styles is really interesting. That was kind of the first thing I realized when I started watching a lot of it was how different everyone's style is and the kind of skills that they have and how they do it. What I really, I'd love to try and do it one time, but there's like real stone-faced, like dry comedians.
Yeah.
That just like, hey, how you going?
Isn't there an Aussie that does that?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Is it Jim Jeffries?
No, Jim Jeffries is kind of animated. Who's the
but there is one that's very, very dull. Like, and talks about dark shit as well, like as he's doing it.
Yeah.
It'll hit me. Hit me. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of comedians in particular, there seems to be a draw towards hitting that America route, you know, particularly in LA. That seems to be the platform in which a lot of comedians kind of go from, you know, potential up and coming artists or comedians to taking their career to that next level and getting featured and, you know,
getting on a movie or something like that.
Yeah, not even just a movie, man. Like, just being in that network of American-based comedians, it seems to really help careers. Do you have any intentions of potentially doing that one day?
Maybe. I mean, I've known people, because I grew up in the acting thing. I know people I used to do short films and things with that have gone over and gone to LA and trying to get into that kind of find work over there, but it's really competitive. I was talking to a guy, Ashley Filzame, when I was in Melbourne. He's a guy he's from America, and he said actually a lot of the comedy scene in America is moving into like Texas
area
at the moment, which is kind of cool because LA is just a fucking it's crazy.
It's a bit of a shit
Florida
show right now,
is just
isn't
a shit
it?
show at the moment. So yeah. With cancel culture, they're like Texans are just like, yeah, let's tell some jokes. Here we go.
They give you a gun on entry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in particular in LA, and this is all from the peripheral. I've obviously never been there, lived there.
I've never done it.
I don't have many friends over there either, but from what I understand, it seems to be that firstly they have a really bad homeless problem over there. Like, have you seen the videos of Skid Row? Sean, can you pull up videos of Skid Row for me? It's just pull it up on YouTube. It's wild. The level of homelessness that is in LA right now. Like, and the thing is, they've become innovative. These homeless people are building like these full-on 2-story buildings out of like cardboard and bits of timber and scrap. It's crazy, man.
Damn.
Skid Row, SKIDROW.
Tonight, they're the images alarming Californians. In LA, the homeless on places like the Hollywood Walk of Fame and along the iconic Venice Boardwalk.
Any and everywhere you go, in and out of stores, homeless, homeless, homeless.
What was once largely confined to the city's notorious Skid Row can now be seen all across Los Angeles. Hundreds of homeless encampments have sprung up, including this one in the shadow of City Hall.
Like America is like, it's wild. Like, if you actually look at what America has, like, you've got this huge homelessness problem. You've got like school shootings.
Yeah.
You've got like an unstable government. It's like
unstable president.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
President. Unstable president. Year after year after year. Yeah, it's wild. That's a shit show. That's insane. Fucking.
We might just take a little cut here.
Yep.
I'm just going to run to the bathroom. I think the problem LA is facing is that they've got really horrible levels of government that have just kind of taken reins over everything in particular. Like, you've seen, you know, especially over the COVID period, they were really honing in on small businesses and making it impossible for them to operate and restaurants and whatnot. And you can imagine the financial pressure that puts on people that, especially in industries like food, man, where you're living on 10 to 12% margins.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you've got a huge backlog of cash.
No,
just to
that's
support
right.
you. If you're in the live entertainment space, like, and you live in LA, what are you doing for 2 years?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people just fell through the cracks, and the homeless
shit.
population is
It's
building
just
like
skyrocketed.
crazy.
Yeah. I think they push a lot of homeless people kind of into the same areas as well, which causes a lot of other problems.
Right.
Yeah, I was watching it. There's like the 99 Pi podcast, which is a really good podcast.
I'm not familiar with it.
Like design stuff. They're talking about how they design cities and like how they design infrastructure basically to pull certain people for different places. So they have extra police patrols, more lights, less benches, and places where you can sleep basically.
Right.
And so where they situate all this like dark places and places where you can sleep and like the places where no police patrols, that forces all these homeless people to congregate in the one place.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect the businesses in the more affluent suburbs.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
I've seen those like anti-homeless like benches and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's that for example. Yeah.
It's like practically impossible to sleep on or sit on.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
It's pretty fucking dark.
But what do you do, man? That's the thing. When you've got a population like LA, which alone has 40 million people in it.
Yeah.
How do you switch that around? How do you change the tide there?
Yeah, I don't know. After everything that's happened as well, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Like I was complaining about the government the other day, but they fucking bailed my ass out over COVID because I lost all my work. Like every industry that I'd worked in at that point was just got absolutely destroyed.
So how did you pivot?
It's like got floated for like 4 weeks and then lost my mind slowly and then climbed back on the horse. No, we kind of like took the time to like workshop our kind of content pipeline and figure out the plan for when COVID wasn't on. But then COVID finished and now it's been then it was like flooding. Everything was flooded for 4 days and then.
Well, wasn't it the Emerald Theatre that like completely collapsed recently?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that huge, huge hole in the floor. That's wild.
Yeah.
No, you'd be pretty stoked if you were the band. I think it was Genesis.
I'm not too sure.
That did it, but you'd be like, yeah, I broke the floor. I was that guy.
You brought the roof down. I brought the floor down.
Yeah. That's how crazy my shows are. Yeah. No, that'd be a sick claim.
Yeah, I'd claim that 110%.
Yeah, man, that'd be sick. Never broken a floor yet, but we'll do it. Maybe Mounties. Watch out, Mounties floor. Coming for you.
I want to be there for that show, man. I want to be there for that show.
It'll be great. I don't know how we're going to do it yet.
Do you write?
Right. Yeah. Like what?
Like sets.
Just jokes. Yeah. So I've got like 10, 15 minutes of jokes in a set, but yeah, I'm still finding my feet, I guess.
What's it look like? Like how does someone go sit down on a piece of paper and go, okay, I'm going to be funny?
Dude, I'm still figuring it out. Like it's a weird process and it changes. Sometimes I start with like a punchline and then work my way back from that. So if it's like, just pick a topic and then talk about that, or like an experience and then talk about that. Look for words that sound the same. Something like that. It's an easy way to do it. I'm still getting better at it, but I don't know. Yeah, I literally can't tell you how I write because I don't know. It's like
because I've heard of people like saying that they write on stage, like they'll go and give 15 minutes and then they're like pretty much writing it as they go, which I have to admit is ballsy.
That's fucking ballsy. Yeah, I've never tried that, but I guess you kind of can write jokes with crowd work, but. I don't know, something happens to you in the day. Okay, so I don't know. So like I was at the pub the other night and this is an actual story and I'm going to try and turn it into a joke.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so like I was at the pub the other night and there was a guy there and he was a mentally disabled guy and he was there and I was like, he was playing the pokies. And I was like, should he really be like? Is that really cool? And then I was like, if anyone here has an excuse to be sitting here playing the pokies, it's the guy with a mental disability. So it's like
that is true.
So then I was like, that's kind of funny. I wonder if I could do that as a bit.
Yeah.
And then I wrote it down on my phone.
Okay.
And then and then I'll probably try that on Thursday.
Yeah. That gambling addiction one's weird, man.
Yeah, bro.
Have you seen how dark that gets?
No, yeah, well, like just gambling addiction as a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking not good.
Yeah.
I used to be like kind of addicted.
Yeah.
Bad, yeah.
What, the pokies?
Yeah, pokies and yeah, not good. I got mates that are pretty addicted. But it's so part of like the Aussie culture. But it's so fucking, it's so bad. They are like so bad. They are don't play pokies.
I'm not a big gambler, personally.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot of people that really deep into the gambling scene, but I've witnessed it.
Yeah.
Like I went on a cruise last year. You might have heard of the Ruby Princess.
No.
Yeah. No?
The big boat?
Yeah. The one that brought COVID. So.
Oh, you were the guy.
I was K0.
Nice. So as well, it's nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you. I'm the reason you didn't have work for 2 years.
Oh, fantastic. At least I know where you work now.
And we were just, it was my first time being on a cruise. And have you been on one before?
No, I've never been on a cruise.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience, man.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. It's daunting.
Been locked in.
Not only that, man, like you're in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, bro.
Everywhere you look,
it's
like, it's like kilometers deep, like right under me. Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why everyone gets drunk. Cause it's like, you just
like,
forget about it.
I'm scared.
Anyway, so, it's kind of like being on a shopping center on a boat. It's not
right.
my personal best way of traveling. Like,
Yeah.
I'd much rather get involved and integrated in the culture that I'm going to.
Yeah, that's my
because I'm a
my
bit of
thing.
a travel snob. So.
Yeah. No, I like doing it on a shoestring.
Anyway, so they have like shopping centers and like Louis Vuittons and, all the high end brands, and they've got a casino in there as well.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people go to the casino before the clubs open.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and, I was getting up to get breakfast or some shit, and I saw a lady like there on the slaps.
Yeah.
A little Asian lady just sitting there,
Yeah.
kind of away. I'm like, oh, that's one way to start the day, right?
Yeah.
I usually just do Milo and Weet-Bix.
But, she's doing $2.50 slaps on 5 dragons. everyone's got their Vegemite. Eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And then in my area, there's like a whole bus service dedicated just that buses just go to the Star.
Well, the crazy thing was, man, that I went clubbing that night and she was still there.
Damn.
Still there.
Yeah.
Like, you hear those stories of people that like don't get up to shit or piss. Like, they just sit there. Like, I had a feeling that she might have been one of those.
Yeah, possibly.
It's
a mental illness.
It's a
proper addiction. It's crazy.
It's just as toxic as drugs.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's doing the same thing to your brain. It's giving you the same I think it's the same dopamine release that like cocaine gives you.
Wow.
And it's like it's triggering that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking dangerous stuff.
It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking.
Especially when it's like fucking pensioners just like feeding their pension in. And then like it's crazy. You go to like the RSL clubs, they only function as like as a lungs for the heart, which is the pokies room. Like even pubs, 70% of their income of pubs in Australia is from the pokies room.
Yeah. And I think we have like one of
the
highest amount of pokies per capita or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like some crazy statistic.
Mm. Here bloody old mate James Packer sold Crown.
He sold it.
Yeah.
How much did he cash out?
Like
something.
6.8 billion. Yeah. Big boy money. Big boy money. Big boy money.
6.8 billion. When you hit those levels of wealth, man, I mean, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine having that much money.
What
I
would
don't
you
even know
do?
what I'd do. I don't even know.
It'd be kind of funny, right?
I'd buy a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would just buy a farm.
You could buy dairy farmers. Like
I could buy
the whole brand.
I don't want farmers. I'll take the cows. I don't want the food. So, yeah.
It's wild, but like it's kind of funny. Like imagine you wake up one day and you just
money.
look at your bank statements and it's like $20 billion, and you kind of like, like no one can tell me to do shit.
Yeah,
I am here completely on my own terms. I'm gonna smoke my cigar.
Kick back, enjoy your life. You get a helicopter and you get a private jet.
Would you get a helicopter?
Probably. I've never been in a helicopter. Have you?
I haven't, but it's a bit sketchy to me.
I'd like to go. I like to go in one.
I've got a thing with heights, man. I'm short.
You don't like heights?
No.
I don't love them, but I'm not scared of them.
Oh, you're tall.
Yeah, it's true.
you're just higher off the ground.
Yeah, I'm just used to it. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't like. People think that I know I'm like. You're never aware of how tall you are.
I'm very aware of how short I am.
Are you like? Is that a thing? Is that you're aware? Like when you're in a group, you're like, oh, I feel short.
I'm making eye contact with people's kneecaps. I'm very aware of how short I am.
Okay, because like I'm never like until I see my reflection in a mirror and I'm with a group of people, I'm like, oh. But then I don't like that because I'm like, oh, I stick out like a fucking sore thumb. Everyone's like normal height.
I think it helps with comedy, man.
Yeah,
I think comedians need to have a little bit of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like you got
a bit of a freak. Just a little bit.
I can't think of one like overly attractive comedian.
No, you can't be super attractive. Oh, no, there's one dude that does our scene. And he's weird because sometimes he makes this like self-deprecating joke. And it's like, dude, you're so fucking handsome.
You're perfect.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. You gotta like comedians, you gotta be a bit twisted. You gotta have some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I got heaps.
So you got any shows coming up?
Yeah. So we got Thursday show, Potts Point Hotel.
Nice.
We've got Newcastle.
Give me dates, because just for release.
Yeah, Newcastle 22nd. Fuck, I don't even know my own show dates.
You know what? We'll leave them like embedded into the video. So those are the dates.
These are the dates right here.
Yes.
You can check out all these dates. I know them. No, we're in. We got Sydney. We got Melbourne show. We got Newcastle coming up at the end of the month. That's fantastic, and we'll be there monthly. We also got Mounties coming up, but TBA on that one.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to that Mountie show.
Gang. Yeah, it'll be good.
100%.
I'll send you a message when we're doing it.
100%. Dan, thank you very much for coming on.
No worries. It's been a
Instagram,
pleasure.
TikTok, where do we find you?
You can find me at DanMaxi_ on Instagram or Daniel_Maxi, spelled MAXI on TikTok.
Beautiful.
You can find me at the shows.
100%. Thank you very much, my man.
Cool.
It's been a pleasure. All the links will be in the description, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And remember to fucking subscribe. Let's go.
Yeah, subscribe. Get on it.